Hi everybody, welcome back. Today we're going to talk about tools that don't work when you want them to. Anybody who uses tools knows that counterintuitively, the more you use a tool, the better condition it tends to stay in. And that's because as you use tools, you tend to correct little minor deficiencies or irregularities whenever you see them. So you want, as you use a screwdriver, you keep the flathead flat. As you use your power tools, you keep the batteries charged. Your bits, you keep them, you throw away bits that are ground down to nothing, etc., etc., etc. It's when you stop using tools that sitting there all by themselves on the shelf or in that part of the yard, they deteriorate. And that's what I found with 3 of my big tools, and that's the focus of today's video. The focus of my spring work right now is getting 3 major tools back in working order. So, I'm going to tell you 3 stories today about trying to get these darn machines back in working nick. And I think I'm going to start with the Minidump. Okay, the Minidump has belt issues, I think. All 3 of these machines have gone kaput on me right now this spring. And as I said in the intro, it's not because of overuse, it's because of underuse.
Okay, now ideally I get you out of here before I start working on you. Will you turn over? Yeah, that's exactly what I thought would happen. Now it's completely... Oh. Okay, B. We just gotta move some wood.
So the first thing that goes wrong is I snapped the pull start cord. Now I have some tent tarp cord in the mini house, so I'll go and try to replace that. I'm in an awkward position. I had hoped to get it started and backed out of this little parking spot so that I could work on it, with a little bit of room to move, but that's, now I'm stuck working in there. So I'll see if I can remove the pull start cover and replace the rope.
There's gotta be one more there that I can't see. Okay. Then we got a coil spring right there, which I hope doesn't pop out on me. And then we got the rope right here. And this is really simple. Okay. Okay, my tent cord didn't work very well. Okay, we gotta start from scratch. Here's the original rope that broke. Here's the first attempt with a tent tie-down rope. Here's the second attempt with a survival paracord. Multi-strand, supposed to not stretch, supposed to not break. Here's the third attempt with a rope, just a regular rope from the hardware store. And here's the fourth attempt, which I'm about to get on right now, which is a dedicated, engine pull start cord. Definitely, it's a lot thicker than even the original. Okay, it's a lot thicker than all the rest. So hopefully it's not too thick that I can't tie it around the wheel and have space to spare. You can hear it. I feel like you're almost there. Up, right, two, up, right, right or middle. In video time, that happened in a few seconds, I imagine, depending on how well I edit. But in real time, this is the fifth day that I've been up here trying to get the mini dump out of its parking spot just 3 meters forward, so that I can start looking at the belts. It has been a long time coming, so I'm feeling quite relieved now. But now the work starts, and now that I've got it running again and the pull cord working again, I've got to lift up the bucket at the back, somehow figure out what I need to do with the belts, because I'm sure it's the belts that are the problem in terms of braking and starting and stopping. So, okay, we've got the brake right here. When you move it up, this cable should go under tension, and the cable comes around here, loops around, and should be pulling this brake is fully detached now.
Well, the original intent for this dump to get it back in working order was, first of all, to get it started, which I did, and then to attend to the brakes. And I really believed that the brakes were controlled by belts, but they're not. They're controlled by this linkage assembly here, and one half of the linkage assembly is not moving at all. It's just completely locked, whether the brake is in disengaged position or engaged position. You know, one half doesn't move even with a hammer blow. The other half moves when I move it, but it doesn't move when I engage or disengage the lever. So the whole setup is really you know, it's beyond my capability anyway. If I were able to take the whole thing apart, and if I had a shop to do it in, without worrying about rain, etc., I might get after it. But I think I'm just going to have to put it back together and use it as is. The excavator has by far been the biggest bang for the buck. It cost me $20,000 3 years ago. I intend to sell it for $20,000 when I'm finished with it. You know, in the big scope of things, I have almost not used it at all. When you look at, you know, how an excavator is generally used, you know, 8 hours a day, 5 days a working week. I don't do that. I only work on the weekends, and as I said, I've at least in the last year, I've rarely used it. But it has been the biggest bang for the buck when it came to clearing land, making roads, moving big ass trees, helping me set up my tiny house, you know, getting those huge timbers way up high, that kind of stuff. Excavator has been, you know, the best tool in my tool belt. I am not mechanically inclined. I'm not a mechanic. I've never rebuilt an engine in my backyard. It's just not natural to me. I've had to learn a lot of stuff in the last 3 years as I've acquired machines and tools. I've had to learn some mechanical stuff, but I'm far, far, far from proficient even.
Looks okay. It's okay. Looks okay. Looks okay. Looks okay. It's okay. I find it's okay. Ouch, 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 ouch.
So I've just checked the fuse box, and all the fuses are intact, seem to be, as far as my amateur eyes are concerned, seem to be okay. The last thing the manual suggested is I check I think it's called the main fuse, or block fuse, and that's right here, right on the battery. So I've got to pry this open and check this. There we go. I can't see anything in there. Well, not much to see in there. This definitely could be corroded. Okay. Okay, this battery is a different orientation, so I've had to spin it around, and we've got the plus on this, we've got the terminals on the right side now, and red plus, black minus, tighten them up. The Bobcat. Now the Bobcat it's been useful. It's not safe, especially on these steep, bumpy, rough mountain roads. And it has no brakes. I understand from various learnings that it has a hydrostatic engine. I think that's what it's called. So the engine is supposed to be the brake. And when you are stopped, though, it's supposed to have some kind of emergency brake function so that you can actually stop, put the engine in neutral, and it won't move. But mine doesn't have that braking function. So I have to constantly be moving. If I'm constantly moving, okay, it's not such a big issue. But if I want to get out and pick something up and put it in the bucket, for example, and I'm on a slope, it slowly starts rolling backwards. So the Bobcat, yeah, it's a bit of an issue. But you know, that's working. When it's working, that's what's wrong with it, and that's what's good about it. Right now, it's not working. It seems to be a complete electrical failure. I thought it was the battery. It's not the battery. I put in a new battery. I've recharged the new battery when it went dead. It's not the battery. It seems to be in the electrical system somewhere. It could be a starter, could be an alternator. I don't know. There we go. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. We are going to move it to a mechanic's location in town where he will work on it. But just moving it is an exercise. The wheels won't turn at all or easily unless the engine is running. And so I have to somehow get this down the slope, maybe at least halfway down the slope, so that the mechanic, when he gets here at 1 o'clock with his tow truck, he can somehow put it on a winch or tie a winch to it and drag it up onto his tow truck. He doesn't know what he's in for yet, and I haven't told him. So I'm just, let's deal with that when we get to it. But for now, my challenge is to get the Bobcat turned around, because there's tow hooks at the back of it, and having the bucket at the back just seems to be the better way to go. But I got to get it turned around and dragged halfway down the slope. Okay, I'm gonna do that with the Yumbo. That was terrifying. That whole bit was terrifying. Anything could have gone wrong. The Bobcat could have rolled backwards. The Bobcat could have rolled off the side, which has happened before with the Minidump. You know, the excavator could have been damaged horribly, with the bucket cylinder being bent all out of shape. But luckily none of that happened. A little damage to the back of the bucket. it's in a place right now where the mechanic with his tow truck can pull in. Well, I really wanted to show you much more of the Bobcat pickup from here going to the mechanics. But the father, I call him Otosan. I shouldn't, though, he's probably the same age as me. He was in a hurry. He really didn't want to do it. He left first of all, he left the tow truck back at the highway and said, we have to go look at the thing first. And we drove up here in my K-truck, and he was, yeah, no way, we can't do this. No way, can't do it. Oh, no, can't do this, can't do that. And then after all that moaning and groaning, he said, oh, let's give it a try. He's going to fix it so it's running. I don't think he's going to fix the brakes. Maybe I should give him a heads up about that. B and I are on our way to look at the Bobcat. We got a call this morning from the mechanic, and the electrical is fixed. It starts, it runs apparently. He couldn't find the parts for the brakes, so we're gonna have a little discussion about that.
多分これを外してそれでこの部分、そうするとこの刃の真下にこれがあるみたい。ドラム、これが
このプレートはこのプレートですよね。
このプレートがこれ、これがこれ、それでこれがこれ、このプレート、それでこの下に中にこのディスクがあって、それをなんかこの
ブッシング
で4つ10番でなんかこれを回すことによって、
そうそうそう、まあ結構40年前の機械だから、
そうなんだって。
そうそうそう、
いかんせん古いと。
OK、まあじゃあでもとりあえず、まあ、使える状態に戻りましたので、
今これ後ろこれ外してあるけど、これまた充電したんだけど、チャージしたんだけど、これをつけていくと、電気が流れてるもので、バッテリーが上がっちゃう。
Okay, we leave you two guys. Not touching any metal would be good. Just like that. Okay, that's the way we leave you.